Well, Louisiana is one of the poorest states in the country and has been for a long time. Our poverty rate in Louisiana is third highest in the country, and our child poverty rate is the fourth highest.
The social costs of child poverty are very high and last for a lifetime. Somebody who grew up in poverty and performed poorly in school, got lower test scores, is more likely to have a hard time graduating high school, more likely to rely on public assistance at some point in their life, more likely to end up incarcerated at a very high cost to taxpayers. And these trends can become intergenerational. You have people that grow up in poverty. If they end up in poverty themselves, their kids are likely to grow up in poverty. It becomes a cycle, and it's actually much more cost effective to try to invest in children early, to try to offset child poverty early, and in the long run, that really pays dividends to society as a whole.
The Earned Income Tax Credit, or the EITC, is a program for working families that helps offset federal income and payroll taxes. It has been proven to lift families out of poverty, and in fact, it's the single largest spurring of single moms being in the workforce. The EITC incentivizes work by providing tax credits to workers. The more that you work and the more that you earn, the larger the tax credit. This gives families flexibility in terms of paying for things like utilities, food, and childcare.
In Louisiana, 491,000 families claimed this credit in 2012, and that includes 33,000 military families and over 400,000 single moms claim this credit. So this is an important credit, and it benefits families in every city and town and parish of Louisiana.
The kind of income boosts that are associated with the EITC have been shown to improve children's test scores, to keep them in school longer, and to translate into lifelong increases in work and income. So the EITC, even for just a year or two, can have a huge impact on offsetting the negative impacts of child poverty and can really set that child on a more successful course for decades, for their entire life. The research is pretty clear that the EITC really has an impact on children in their adult years in terms of both working hours and wages. The kind of income boosts associated with the EITC translate into adults working 135 more hours a year and making 17% more in earnings. These are huge impacts.
And the Earned Income Tax Credit is one of the programs, one of the reasons it's been so successful over the years is because it helps families that are trying to help themselves by lifting them just above that poverty line and helping them to make ends meet and provide basic needs for their family. This is a very tough budget year for legislators, and there is a lot of talk about how we balance our state budget and how we find enough money to fill all the needs. But this is a program that is really one of the most critical lifelines for families at work, for families that want to improve their lot in life, that want to help themselves. And this is a program that, even in tough budgetary times like we're facing this year, deserves to be not just protected, but strengthened. Good news about the EITC is we have it on the books, and at minimum it needs to be preserved. But I think doubling the credit that we have from 3.5% to 7% of the federal credit would strengthen what we have, would help even more families, and would put more money in people's pockets that they can spend on basic necessities, that they can spend on their children and on basic needs. So we're not just helping the parents, but we're helping children, putting them on the path to a more successful future.